Hi everyone, Regina here at StarterPPC. Today we're talking about the bid settings called tCPA and tROAS. That stands for target cost per click, target cost per acquisition and target ROAS. If anyone has tried to use these settings and you notice that your impressions and your clicks plummet along with your budget, right? Your daily spend isn't being spent 100% when the tROAS or tCPA is applied. I'm going to explain why that happens. But first, let's just look at an example so everyone knows what we're talking about. We're all on the same page here. So this is one of our clients, and what I'm going to do is head over to the change history here on the left. And I'm just going to look back in time through a couple of months because I want to find an example of when we applied the target ROAS or target CPA settings. Now, for those of you who aren't familiar with these settings, it's, one of many ways of telling the algorithm what types of, what types of how to bid, right, within the auction, what kinds of cost per clicks you're willing to pay, and what kind of a return you need. So if you set a tROAS setting, you're saying, hey, algorithm, I want you to get me a ROAS of whatever your setting is. Let's say you set it at 200%. You're like, I really need this return where I spend $1 and I get $2 in return, right? That's a 200% return. And so you're kind of automating whatever the algorithm does and saying you can bid whatever you want, wherever you want, however you want, as long as you get me an average of 200% return. So that's the intent behind a tROAS setting. Now, does it always work out that way? Let's take a look. So I'm just gonna find an example here where, let's see here. Okay, here we go. So this is one of our Performance Max campaigns. This is the same day. Okay, here we go. Performance Max shopping only. That's just a Performance Max campaign where we don't really give it any assets. We only give it the shopping feed. So it kind of runs like a smart shopping campaign. So on April 19th, we applied a target ROAS setting of 100%. And on April 28th, we removed that target ROAS setting. So let's go and look at this campaign between these two dates, the 19th and the 28th. Okay, so what happened? So this was April 19th through April 28th. And let's just compare it with the previous period so we can see how the numbers changed during that time period compared to the previous period. Okay, so first thing that we can see for this PMAX shopping only campaign, that's the one here on the top, is cost went down 74%, right? So it was spending $600 per day, now it's spending $166. Impressions went down 76%. Wow. Clicks also went down 75%. The average cost per click actually went up a tiny bit. However, click-through rate went up a tiny bit. That's good. Conversion rate went up a ton, 500% increase in conversion rate. And best of all, our return on ad spend, right, which we all know ROAS isn't exactly accurate because we're probably missing a lot of conversions in here due to privacy restrictions and Google's inability to track appropriately. However, the ROAS that we can see is still relevant in comparison to the ROAS before, in the time period before. We can see that this went up quite a bit, actually, almost 50% increase from 72% to 106%. And what did we tell it to get with the tROAS setting? 100, right? So we were getting 72 in this campaign, and we said, we'd like you to get us 100. And, you might be looking at this going, well, that's not a very high ROAS. But again, ROAS is shrinking every day, you guys. This is a video for another time, but with privacy laws and Google's inability to track appropriately, if you're seeing 100% inside of your Google Ads campaign, check your total return for the total business, and I'd be willing to bet you that it's a 200 or a 300%. That's how bad ROAS is right now. It just looks worse than it is. Okay, so here's what happened. On April 19th through the 28th, we applied a tROAS setting. We told it we wanted 100. Google's algorithm said, great, no problem. I can get you 100. But what was the cost of that? It got way less conversions, you guys. Actually, I don't even have the conversions column pulled up, but if I pulled it up, I can tell you with certainty. Actually, let's go and pull it up. I'm going to click on columns, modify columns, search for conversions. Conversions, I like conversions by time, conversions by conversion time, because that shows us the conversions on the day the conversion actually happened instead of on the day that the first click happened. So that's my go-to metric here. Oh, okay. Okay, I'm wrong. Conversions went up. Interesting. So it spent less. Impressions went down a lot. Clicks went down a lot, but somehow conversions went up. That's unusual. Usually the conversions will go down and you'll just get less conversions. I wonder what would happen if we looked at conversion value. Now I'm curious. Hi there. Quick interruption. Do you know the main thing that prevents small business owners from getting their Google Ads account into a position to grow and scale? Budget. A lot of businesses, especially those that are just starting out, have limited budgets. And so because of this, they're turned away by most ad agencies because most ad agencies have minimum budget thresholds that they're willing to work with. So what happens is the business owners end up learning Google Ads themselves. And the problem with that is that most of the advice online is geared towards larger accounts. And the advice doesn't have any of those strategies or tricks that can kickstart the algorithm into giving a small account a leg up over larger competitors. So it often just doesn't work and the business just ends up losing money month over month. If this sounds familiar, StarterPPC can help. We offer Google Ads management services that are designed for accounts that have between $1,000 and $5,000 budgets. And because all of our clients are just starting out, we've come up with ways to keep our management fees significantly lower than most agencies. Because we know that every dollar saved on management fees just goes towards the ad budget, which is going to help the algorithm gather speed and power. So if you're serious about growing your business and you'd like a team of Google Ads experts to help you without breaking the bank, check us out at starterppc.com. Okay, back to the video. Okay, conversion value went down. So that's really the only thing that matters. Wow, conversion value went down 62%. So it looks like it's continuing to get conversions, but it's just going after people that don't have a high average order value. I think there's an average order value column that we could pull up called AOV, which is probably a custom column. I thought I just pulled it up, but I guess I didn't. Let me try again. Average order value. Oh, there we go. Now it's pulled up. Okay, yeah. Average order value went down 76%. So in this case, the algorithm said, sure thing. I can get you that 100% return. I can get your ROAS to go up. But in doing that, you're going to lose conversion value. In fact, I'm going to make that happen by just going after the low-hanging fruit of people that have a lower average order value because I know that the conversion rate on those is much higher. Conversion rate is 500% higher. That's crazy. So why does this happen? Let's talk about this a little bit. The way the algorithm kind of thinks is in terms of like pockets of the market, right? So it might go, well, I have this pocket over here who's interested in this type of a product, and I have this pocket over here who actually went to the website and proved that they're interested in this particular product, and so it might have 200 different little pockets that it's looking at. And within those pockets, it kind of knows these people average this AOV, this kind of conversion rate. I can bid and pay this much cost per click. So if you tell it, I really need to hit my goals, I really need to pay my bills, I would like to get a higher return, it's going to say, okay, I know what I'll do. I have 200 pockets of the market, but only a couple of them over here at the top. Those are the ones that are actually getting a 100% return. So I'm just going to get rid of the rest. I'm not going to bid on those anymore. And I'm just going to go after the most profitable in terms of return. and it'll get you what you want, right? But it might not spend the daily budget. In this case, the cost went down the whole whopping 75%. Unfortunately, this tROAS setting, which is so enticing, and it's the same with tCPA, you want to use it, you want to apply it, because you know that you have to hit that return and you have to get the algorithm to get that profitability up for every sale. Unfortunately, it's just hard to scale that way. The algorithm now is kind of focused on goal hitting. It's not really just, it's not going after all the other pockets of the market that it kind of discarded, because right now it's just looking at the tippy top most profitable ones for you. And so businesses come to us often saying, I don't know why, but I can't scale. Every time I add budget, it doesn't spend, or every time I add budget, it just, my ROAS goes down. That's because that tROAS setting is not a setting for scaling. It's good to use temporarily, but you have to allow the algorithm to go through what we like to call mini learning phases, right? Where you don't have that setting turned on and you just let it do its thing. You let it observe new pockets of the market. And in fact, you have to push it through tough times too, where during those times when the tROAS isn't applied, you add a tiny bit more budget and you let it learn a whole new pocket of the market, where you might discover that, oh, this is actually the pocket of the market that's going to help us do our next scale, period. So be wary of that tROAS setting. Only use it sparingly. We actually have a maximum time limit that we're willing to apply it each month. So that's how we've kind of like contained the temptation to use tROAS over here. We have a lot of processes in place like that. So best of luck to you. If you need help scaling, we're here for you. StarterPPC works with businesses that have budgets of $5,000 or less. Check us out. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.
We're going to dive right in. And the topic for today, the discussion topic, is going to be MER, Media Efficiency Ratio. And what MER is, Media Efficiency Ratio, is, think of it like company ROAS. So all cash spend out on paid media versus all revenue in.